The story of Adam and Eve gave us the first taste of temptation. You couldn't have the apple, but Eve, of course, did. But this video is not about that. We've explained the forbidden fruit effect. Now we talk about 3 more tricks like that. It's no surprise that iPhone, with its minimalist logo, taps into this deep-rooted symbolism. Throughout history, the apple has appeared as a symbol of discovery, from Newton's moment under the tree to its place in mythology and folklore. It's a fruit tied to curiosity, knowledge, and sometimes rebellion. Owning an iPhone is a way to silently broadcast status without appearing overtly ostentatious, like the foldables and other cheesy but powerful designs. This psychological pull is crafted carefully. The brand gives a sense of exclusivity while feeding the universal human desire for validation and recognition, all wrapped in a veil of simplicity. Now, let's dive into 3 more tricks like this. Subtle yet powerful ways to influence and captivate, rooted in psychology and the nuances of human nature. Chapter 1. Letting their imagination do the work. Ever notice how you think more about someone when they're not around? There's a reason for that. When you step back, you give space for curiosity to grow. This space isn't just empty, it's filled with their thoughts of you. By creating distance, you're not pulling away, you're pulling them in. People are wired to be curious. When someone is always available, the mystery fades. On the flip side, when you create distance, you allow others to fill in the blanks with their imagination. This isn't about playing hard to get in a superficial way, it's about understanding that attraction often starts in the mind. When you're not around, they'll think about what you're doing, who you're with, and what it would be like to have you closer. Psychological roots. This principle is grounded in the Zeigarnik effect, a psychological phenomenon where people remember incomplete tasks better than completed ones. When you step back, you leave an open loop in their mind. They'll want to close it by reaching out, by thinking of you, by wondering about you. The distance you create isn't a wall, it's an invitation for their mind to engage with you, even when you're not present. In Stoicism, detachment is a key practice. It's not about disinterest, but about maintaining composure and perspective. By creating emotional and physical space, you foster a relationship where longing and interest are natural, not forced. Stoics believe in valuing what is earned, not what is given freely without regard. So, how do you use this in real life? It's about balance. You don't ghost or disappear entirely. People often like to forget whatever you did for them in the past, its impact is limited. Instead, you learn to be less available. Cancel plans once in a while, take a little longer to reply to messages, or simply take time for yourself. This creates a dynamic where your presence is valued more because it's not constant. However, distance can be tricky. Overdo it, and you risk coming off as uninterested or cold. The key is subtlety. It's about letting them miss you just enough to feel your absence and crave your presence. Don't use distance as a manipulative tactic. If the goal is to play games, the outcome will likely be short-lived and damaging. Distance should be natural, a reflection of a life well-balanced and filled with personal pursuits. When done with sincerity, it fosters genuine intrigue and attraction. Distance is a powerful tool in the art of seduction. It creates a canvas for the other person to paint their ideal version of you. But like any tool, it must be used wisely, with intention and awareness of its impact. Chapter 2. The Art of Keeping Them Wanting More. Ever wonder why we crave what we can't have? There's something about the unattainable that sparks a deeper desire. In the world of attraction, once someone feels like they have you completely, the allure often diminishes. Desire thrives in the space between possession and longing, the balance of accessibility. Imagine a treasure that's easily found and obtained. Its value would diminish quickly. On the other hand, a treasure that's elusive, that requires effort and patience to uncover, becomes infinitely more desirable. In relationships, this same dynamic plays out. When you make yourself too available, too predictable, the other person might start to take you for granted. But by keeping a part of yourself reserved, you maintain a sense of intrigue. Desire, at its core, is fueled by scarcity and novelty. The scarcity principle explains that when something is limited or hard to obtain, it becomes more attractive. Additionally, novelty keeps the brain engaged and interested. If you're constantly available and predictable, the other person's brain adapts and the excitement wanes. By creating moments of absence or unpredictability, you reignite the spark of interest. From a Stoic perspective, desire must be managed with wisdom and restraint. Stoics teach that true happiness comes from within, not from external possessions or people. In the context of seduction, this means not giving yourself away entirely or relying on the other's validation. By holding back, you not only create desire, but also maintain your own sense of independence and self-worth. How to cultivate desire? In practice, cultivating desire involves a delicate dance. You offer glimpses of intimacy and connection, but you don't lay everything bare. Share parts of yourself, but not all at once. Allow time and space for the other person to yearn for more. This could mean spending time apart, pursuing your own interests, or simply not always being immediately available. Importantly, it's about creating a rhythm of closeness and distance. When you're together, be fully present. When you're apart, let the space create an opportunity for longing. This balance keeps the relationship dynamic and engaging. Pitfalls to avoid. It's crucial to avoid turning this into a game of manipulation. The goal isn't to play with someone's emotions, but to create a natural flow of giving and receiving. Overdoing it, or coming across as uninterested, can backfire, leading to frustration or detachment. Additionally, ensure that the desire you cultivate is mutual and respectful. If one person is always chasing, while the other is perpetually aloof, the relationship can become unbalanced and unhealthy. In daily interactions, this principle is seen in everything from marketing to relationships. Products that are rare or limited edition tend to sell out quickly because people desire what they can't easily have. In relationships, this same scarcity drives desire. When you're not always within reach, you become a rare and valuable presence in their life. By mastering the art of creating desire, you ensure that the connection remains vibrant and alive. It's about understanding that less is often more, and that the anticipation can be as thrilling as the fulfillment. Chapter 3. Being her exclusive fulfillment. Have you ever noticed how some connections feel irreplaceable? It's not by accident. When you become someone's exclusive source of a specific need, whether it's emotional support, physical intimacy, or deep vulnerability, you create a bond that feels essential and unique. But how does one cultivate this exclusive connection without it veering into dependency or control? Understanding the concept of exclusivity. Humans seek out relationships to fulfill various needs: companionship, understanding, comfort, and intimacy. When you position yourself as the primary or even sole provider of one of these essential needs, you naturally become indispensable. The exclusivity creates a unique dynamic where they feel like losing you would mean losing a critical part of their emotional or physical well-being. Psychological underpinnings. This tactic taps into the psychological principle of emotional dependency. Studies have shown that people are more likely to form strong attachments to those who meet their specific needs, especially when no one else does. This isn't about fostering unhealthy dependency, but rather about creating a unique role for yourself in someone's life that's hard to replicate. For instance, if you become the only person someone feels safe sharing their vulnerabilities with, the bond strengthens as you fulfill a role no one else does. This exclusivity can make them feel a deep connection, as they perceive you as irreplaceable in that aspect of their life. From a Stoic standpoint, this idea must be approached with caution and integrity. Stoicism emphasizes self-sufficiency and inner strength. Therefore, while it's strategic to be someone's sole source of a particular need, it's also essential to encourage their growth and resilience. The goal isn't to make someone dependent on you, but to create a meaningful connection where both parties grow and benefit. To successfully position yourself as their only source, start by identifying what need you naturally fulfill in their life. Is it emotional comfort, a listening ear, physical affection? Once you've identified this, focus on deepening that role. Be consistently present in that capacity and show genuine care and understanding. Now you might think it clashes with the concept of desire, but I said consistent, but not always, means consistently elusive. Ensure that the fulfillment you provide is meaningful and not superficial. For example, if you're their go-to for emotional support, be genuinely attentive and empathetic. This consistency builds trust and reinforces the bond. Potential risks and ethical considerations. It's vital to approach this strategy ethically. The goal isn't to isolate someone from other sources of support or to make them feel they can't live without you. This would be manipulative and unhealthy. Instead, focus on being a positive, enriching presence in their life, while also encouraging them to have a balanced network of support. Also, be wary of becoming too entrenched in the role to the point where it becomes a burden. Relationships should be mutually fulfilling, not one-sided dependencies. Ensure that while you're meeting their needs, your own needs are also being met. In everyday life, we see this dynamic in various relationships, whether it's a best friend who knows all your secrets, a partner who's your only source of physical intimacy, or a mentor who provides guidance no one else does. These exclusive roles create a special bond that's hard to replicate. By becoming someone's only source for a specific need, you not only enhance the connection, but also create a relationship that feels unique and invaluable. It's about fostering a sense of irreplaceability, not through control, but through genuine, consistent, and meaningful presence. Thanks for watching.